Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the Understanding Lead Funnels webinar and how to fully maximize every lead you get. Thank you for joining today's presentation. My name is Phi Schmidt, and I'm the VP of Product Development here at Demand Metric. And in today's webinar, sponsored by the team over at HighRoad Solution, we're going to focus on understanding lead funnels in context to association marketing. Here's the agenda for today's webinar. We're going to start with some funnel fundamentals, then we're going to move into some trends in funnel performance, finishing with the proven path to funnel success, which is going to wrap everything up, and ending with a Q&A session. So please get your questions in. We will cover all of those at the very end. Now, I just want to remind you that all the information in the webinar is based on recent research. We're going to dive into the findings from this report. It's called The State of the Sales and Marketing Funnel to help you understand what makes a funnel tick a little bit later. But first things first, let's get into some fundamentals. But before we discuss marketing funnels, we should really ensure we cover all the other bases first, including marketing automation, which is central to funnel operation. So let's do a quick recap of what we learned in our previous webinar on marketing automation to bring everyone up to speed. In our previous webinar, we what marketing automation is and how it helps associations optimize and automate their marketing process. That said, we started our journey with discussing using an AMS. Now, to keep it really simple, AMS, also known as a CRM, is a software platform where all of the records about your members, prospects, and leads live, including any sales notes or qualification criteria. Now, these records are really important that let you maintain and leverage your relationship, giving the membership team the ability to be in context to specific people's needs and be able to solve problems in a magical way that makes your members excited and feel like they're taken care of. Now, it doesn't really matter what system, AMS or CRM, and we're not focusing on that, but it's important to realize there's a lot of options out there, and really in the end, it's most important that you have one. And it's important because it works together with the automation system. Now, marketing automation refers to software platforms that replace high-touch, repetitive manual processes like email marketing with automated solutions. So, for example, although an AMS or CRM holds the members or prospect records up to date, it's the marketing automation system that actually sends these people emails based on how they interact with your website and how they click in their inbox. So marketing automation allows you to segment these members based on how they behave, based on their engagement level, and is designed to automate your marketing efforts to be able to segment different groups and campaigns and give you really a lot of value in terms of being able to communicate automatically with those prospects. Now, once again, there's a lot of options when it comes to marketing automation. We're not going to be really focusing on any of them, but in the end, it's important that you have both an AMS and a marketing automation system to be able to make use of funnels. But we're going to get to the funnels in a moment. Let's finish recapping the previous presentation. So basically, your members, who they are, and your MA, marketing automation system, takes care of their needs. So it's really relationship management, and it's this integration between members and prospect records in the AMS and the actions in your marketing automation system that do all the heavy lifting and really make all the magic happen. Now, it's important to note this really encourages sales and marketing alignment. So by sales, I mean your membership team and, of course, your marketing team. This allows them to work together, and the funnel really brings that into light, and we're going to be focusing on that. But that's really what this is all about, is being able to help the marketing team and the membership team work together as a single team. Now, this is all because of lead scoring, lead and member scoring. So in marketing automation, you are able to score the leads. Now, this is done using math formulas to rank potential customers, and it's used to identify prospects or members that are ready for direct sales contact. Now, because these are done automatically, the scores are consistent, current, they include lots of variables, saves a lot of work for marketers and a lot of work for sales, make sure they're only speaking to the right people. Now, all of this is happening via member nurturing. Marketing automation sends out lots of emails, lots of different touch points, and things that can encourage engagement with any of those leads and members. That leads to the lead scoring and ultimately creates all the information to help sales move forward with that ultimate sale, or in this case, memberships with, let's say, a renewal or perhaps a new member joining. Now, marketing automation has different levels of maturity, which we discussed in the previous presentation, all the way from one-off emails, going through landing pages and tracking and lead scoring, all the way down to revenue forecasts. So there's a lot to marketing automation, but really it all comes down to your funnel. So your funnel is where the action is going to happen. That's what this webinar is all about. Now, basically, your AMS, remember, your marketing automation takes care of their needs, but the funnels is where you organize their journey. And really, the funnel is the entire journey from beginning to end, visualized. So let's say here. So this is a visual representation of the funnel. So as we discussed in our last presentation on marketing automation, a marketing funnel is the stages that your leader prospect actually goes through as they move closer to becoming a member. So the top of the funnel, which is the initial state where the lead is initially captured, that type of funnel interaction usually consists of getting someone's email address captured through a form on the landing page. You could be sending them subsequent emails based on how they interact, but it all starts here at the top of the funnel. Now, in the middle of the funnel are nurtured. So each piece of content, each landing page, each further stage of the sale is a part of this middle stage in the marketing funnel. But the goal is really here to get the most qualified leads coming through the funnel and into the hands of your membership team. Now, the bottom of here is what we're all really excited about. This is your wins. This could be a renewal. This could be a new member. This could be an event registration or a certification registration. But ultimately, it's success. I'm showing money here because that's ultimately the goal, is to be able to get renewals and new members. But it could be other forms. Your funnel could be leading to different events. Like, for example, it could be certification registration or an event registration or something like that. So keep in mind the funnel is both monetary, but as well it may have different actions that lead towards an eventual monetary action. Okay, so where are they? Where are they in this entire process? So when considering how your lead or member nurturing process works, you should always consider where that individual sits in your buying or renewal process, which could also be looked at as a funnel. So I take here just to make sure that we're not thinking of it completely the same way, but we do have 3 stages here. And the idea here is that you want to map your content appropriately to each stage, buying stage, that is in your process. So based on where your prospect or member is in the buying and renewal process. So ultimately, you're going to be ensuring that your ideal members are being addressed in the correct way based on their place in your buying renewal process stage, and these are funnel paths. So we have discovery at the top, where you want to detail your competitive difference. So if we're talking about a renewal here, that would be the recent updates you've done or offerings you've added. In consideration, we want to focus on the ease of use, so past results with the association. In the final stage here, decision, we need to prove a return on investment, and we want to get them to sign up to renew. So if you think of these funnels each other, you can really see how they really line up to the same idea. We have the top, we have the middle, and we have the bottom. There's a lot of different kinds of funnels, and in the landing page for this presentation, I was going to share you a few different ones, so I've shared with you 2 now, the top, middle, bottom, the discovery, consideration, decision. But let me share one more. Now, this is a bigger one at a higher level. This can be seen all the way through, not just a campaign, a funnel for a campaign, like perhaps you have a funnel for a specific marketing campaign that you want to have. It has a landing page and a white paper. Let's, in this case here, use a funnel as an example for a larger system. So here we have unqualified prospects that then become qualified, that turn into opportunities, and that those opportunities get closed. And the top 2 stages are owned by marketing, and the bottom 2 stages are owned by membership, the membership team. So let's take these, and then we're going to go right into some of these trends for funnel performance. So here at the top, we have unqualified prospects in the first stage. So these prospects are leads in your AMS. They're tracked by lead source. They're nurtured until they're ready for sale or sales ready. And then there's a trigger point at some point via lead scoring or some other effective use inside of the marketing automation system that sends them directly to the qualification stage. And at this stage, we go through and make sure the decision maker is identified, the AMS contact and account data is updated, the leads convert into an account, and so on and so forth. Perhaps multiple leads are put together into a single account, and ultimately you have a qualified lead assigned to your membership team. Now that moves into membership now has an opportunity. So they're going to create an opportunity in the AMS. They're going to see what products and services they can use with this individual. Then they start to figure out decision process, time frames, forecast amounts, close dates. And then ultimately we have the closed deal, which is at the end of the funnel, and the opportunity info updated within the AMS. So that is another example of a funnel. But in the end, it really could top, middle, bottom. We have top of funnel attracting leads, middle qualifying them, and bottom, we have converting them into wins. Okay, so now that the funnel fundamentals, let's take a look at the latest research on how the funnel performs. So the idea here is we want to help save you time by learning what is working. Now, you could just jump into a funnel and start working with stuff, but it's really important to know where are the problem areas in a funnel and what are the ways to solve that and what kind of technologies are helping stop these kinds of issues with these funnels. Now, the research that I'm going to share with you is from a report, and it's called The State of the Sales and Marketing Funnel. It was in partnership with MRP, and it was completed here by Demand Metric. And in this report, we drill down into the performance of the funnel from top to bottom. There are a lot of important insights from this research that can help you understand not only how funnels operate, but what to look for as challenges while moving leads or prospects from the top to the middle and ultimately the bottom of the funnel. Okay. So now the study established a baseline of performance for each major section of the funnel. And you're going to keep seeing this image because this image is what this webinar is all about. We're going to be talking about these stages over and over again. So once again, even though it's not saying in some areas of the presentation, it may not say it, but it'll always be top, middle, and bottom. So here is how well the funnel delivers desired outcomes, and here's the percentages responding well or very well. So over half of the study's participants felt the top of funnel processes worked well to deliver the desired outcomes, while just over 1/3 felt the same way about the bottom part of the funnel. And just to reiterate, the top is where you attract and capture those leads, the middle is where you're nurturing them, and ultimately the bottom is where you're leading to that final sale. So the insight here is that the top of the funnel processes worked well, whereas the bottom ones did not work as well. Okay, so qualification criteria here and definitions are important to move forward with some of this information. Now, the study survey cataloged the extent to which participants' organizations have formal definitions or agreements for the following types of leads. So first we have MQLs. So that's marketing qualified leads. They exist when a lead is judged by some predetermined criteria as more likely to become a customer compared to others. We also have the next stage, which is they exist when a lead has shown some intent to buy. Now, this, of course, is the holy grail for the sales team or membership team. But this is where I'm sharing this with you. Not only is it important to know these definitions, but the impact of having definitions and agreements for leads on funnel results actually was quite clear in the research. So to produce this chart here, we segmented data into high and low funnel satisfaction segments. And each segment was evaluated to determine the prevalence of formal definitions or agreements, MQLs and SQLs. Now, as you can see here, the high satisfaction segment we were far more likely to have definitions in place. The average delta between satisfaction segments is an astonishing 52%. So this makes a powerful case for ensuring that you define and agree on what constitutes an MQL and SQL within your funnel. Now, the clearer everyone understands this, including your lead scoring system, the better results you're going to get. Now, we're going to get into all of that as we go. But let's get in here into looking into the top funnel. So data and statistics related to attracting and capturing leads. Okay, so this chart shows participants rated the top of funnel attributes of lead quality, quantity, and quality. So as the data shows, study participants are having more success producing required numbers of leads than producing quality leads. Now, a number of technologies actually play key roles in helping marketers optimize both the quantity and the quality of these leads. This chart here displays ratings for a list of technologies or approaches that enable lead capture at the top of the funnel. So I'm going to read a few of them here. We have content, we have social media, we have CRM or AMS, we have business dev inside sales reps or membership team reps, lead scoring, marketing automation, account-based marketing, also known as ABM, display advertising, supplemental data, and predictive analytics. Now, it's worth noting that 8 of the 10 technologies and approaches listed here are rated as important by over half the study's participants and reinforce their role in capturing leads. Now, when analyzing the study's data, some of the items listed show strong correlation to the number and quality of leads generated. Okay, so the technologies and approaches that correlated to better ratings for the number and quality of leads coming to the top of the funnel are, for the number of leads, account-based marketing, ABM, supplemental data, lead scoring, and business development inside sales reps, in this case your membership team. That helped the number of leads. Now for the quality of leads, supplemental data and lead scoring that ultimately gave the best information on the quality of those leads. Now, the underlies this next chart is that technologies and approaches considered important are also in use. So in the case of the rating for the number of leads captured, when correlated technologies and approaches for that, like ABM, supplemental data, lead scoring, business development, inside sales reps, are also considered important, that rating increases from 61 to 82%. That's pretty significant. In a similar fashion, the quality of leads rating, when the correlated technologies of supplemental data and lead scoring are also considered important, sees a rating increase from 51 to 61%. So this obviously tells us that leverage technology is making a difference here. Okay, now this is experience capturing and migrating leads from the top to the middle of the funnel. Marketers face a number of challenges as they attempt to capture leads at the top of the funnel and then migrate them to the mid and bottom funnel sections. Now, this chart here shows how study participants ranked the severity of the challenges that they were dealing at the top of the funnel. So we have things like they need more budget for demand generation, we need more or better marketing technology, better understanding of target market or customers, or better data or metrics. So these are some of the challenges. You'll notice that all of them are above 50% in almost every case, so relatively high, whether it's lead capture or lead migration. Now, the amount of marketing effort and or resources required to pull these leads through from the top of the funnel to the middle of the funnel is shown here. This is important because every stage of the funnel has different levels of difficulty, and it will give you an idea of where you need to focus your efforts and what technologies to use to help it. So most marketers report that the resource effort to pull leads through to the middle of the funnel is moderate to substantial, and this migration from top to mid is the least effort and resource intensive of the migrations from one section of the funnel to the next. So that brings the middle of the funnel. This is where the leads are nurtured and where we take opportunities and really, anyone who's coming through the top of the funnel and turn them into a qualified account and opportunity that the sales or membership team can actually do something with. So this chart here is relative importance assessment for various mid-funnel technologies and approaches. Now, content, which is at the top of the list of approaches for capturing and migrating leads, position of importance here in the middle of the funnel, as you can see. Now, now you also notice that business dev and inside sales reps are basically tied directly here in regards to improving mid-funnel results. Whatever the challenges marketers and sales teams face in the middle of the funnel, they're not experienced as broadly as top-of-funnel challenges. So look at the challenges here. We saw ones before that were over 50 or 60. None of the challenges listed here are experienced by more than half of the study's participants, while all the lead migration challenges listed previously for the top of the funnel are felt by half or more of those in the study. So there's a lot more difficulties experienced and challenges in the top than in the middle. In the middle, some of the issues are things like, better nurturing content, better data or metrics, once again, better alignment of sales and marketing processes. So as was the case at the funnel, the conditions under which leads qualify to move from one section of the funnel to the next are not always clear. So the greater the clarity, the less friction involved in migrating those leads. So in the case of moving leads from the mid to the bottom funnel, a number of the technologies and approaches correlate to greater clarity about the movement of those leads. So here we have the CRM or AMS system for touchpoint tracking or synchronizing tactics that are in use. We have predictive analytics, lead scoring, and content. Now keep in mind as well, lead scoring can be coming from behavior. So for example, you could be getting supplemental data by asking some additional questions in an email, and how they click on a yes or no in that link may add data to an AMS record and provide more clarity. Or perhaps a quiz, or perhaps any other type of information. But really the idea is more clarity equals less friction. So the amount of marketing effort and or resources required to pull leads through from mid to bottom funnel is shown here. The effort and or resources actually required to pull leads through from the mid to the bottom of the funnel is greater than is required to pull leads through from the top to the middle of the funnel. So as shown here, the effort is moderate to substantial for 82% of study participants, compared to 70% from the top to middle. But the passage from the middle down to the bottom is the most resource-intensive transition from this study. This is where we have to get more people involved and less automation. Now, the automation, of course, helps the people, but it becomes more resource-intensive. Now, of this funnel, this is where we talk about wins. Once again, renewals, new members, event registrations, certification registration. So let's take a look at a little bit of the data here, and then we're going to move path that you can actually take all the key takeaways from this that you can actually use immediately in building a really strong funnel for your association. So technology and approaches continue to facilitate success with bottom funnel processes. So this chart here shows that the relative importance assessment for various bottom funnel technologies and approaches, and we see content once again is at the top. So followed by a few others there that look pretty familiar. Now, 4 technologies and approaches that facilitate success in the top of the funnel, in the middle of the funnel, and at the bottom of the funnel are the same. Now, this is important, everyone. Only the order has changed with one exception. Content is always ranked first. Now, this finding validates conventional wisdom that content, CRM/AMS, business development inside sales reps, your membership team, and marketing automation are the pillars of the lead generation and qualification process. These are things that you need to make sure that you are implementing and using in your association to ensure your funnel is successful. Now, challenges that marketers and sales team members face at the bottom of the funnel have morphed some, and even where similar, they're experienced differently or at different degrees. Now, this chart shares how study participants ranked these challenges. Now, you'll notice there at the top that just one of the listed here is experienced by more than half of the study participants. So having accurate insight into the purchase intent of an SQL, of a sales qualified lead, is quite a challenge. But the system and tools exist to let your marketing and sales teams have greater certainty about the purchase intent of leads in the funnel. So these bottom funnel challenges are experienced less severely than the challenges reported at the top and mid. You can see a lot of 20s and 30s. So less challenges here, but the big one here is just understanding purchase intent. We're going to finish off here with just a couple more with the amount of effort required to pull SQLs, that are sales qualified leads, through to close sales is summarized here. So almost 1/4 of study participants report little to no effort required to pull SQLs through from the bottom funnel to a closed sale. So once you get to the bottom, there is quite a bit of an opportunity there for success. It's just a matter of getting down there. Okay, so let's finish an overall view on funnel performance. This chart summarizes the pull-through effort for each funnel stage, and it's interesting to look at how various sections of the funnel perform. But marketers can't forget to take a holistic view of the funnel. What happens at the top of the funnel really affects everything else below. So optimizing the top of the funnel or any other top level, even middle level, will help everything below it. Has a real trickle-down benefit. So watch these numbers here, all right? Here we go. Example, if we just, in this case here, use only survey responses that indicate little or no effort required to pull leads from top to mid, so people who had a really great top funnel experience, it doesn't really take a lot of a deal of intuition here to conclude that top of funnel processes minimize the resources, effort, and friction of pulling leads from the top to the middle. And it just shows how much benefits result from the top of funnel optimization. Okay, so we went through a lot, and it can be a bit dry, but it's really important to really look at all of this information and understand, not only do we understand what a funnel is and what those stages are, but what the challenges are working through that funnel, what technologies are required to be able to give the success, and that's what we're going to move into now. So we're going to give you now a proven path to funnel success and really give the key insights for funnel success based off of this data and our research. So the first one is to establish definitions and clarity. So the sales and marketing funnel is a process consisting of people, technology, and sub-processes. Processes that are vague and unstructured perform erratically, so a general process improvement strategy is to eliminate variation by defining the process and setting performance expectations. In the case of the funnel, satisfaction improves significantly when formal definitions or agreements exist for lead types. So in this case here, in MQL, marketing qualified lead, and SQL, which we discussed earlier. Furthermore, ensuring clarity about the conditions under which leads migrate from one section of the funnel to the next enables better funnel performance. Okay, number 2 here, we're going to shore up the technology pillars. The discipline of managing the marketing function is more and more resembling managing software, because that's really what it comes down to. Nowhere is this more evident than in the funnel. So having the right marketing technology stack is critical to success in the funnel. The technological pillars of the B2B funnel include CRM/AMS systems, marketing automation, ABM, which is account-based marketing, predictive analytics, and lead scoring. So these are super important that you want to have this technology in place and that you're moving forward to build the maturity on each of these. Now, the role of these technologies shifts in the use and importance depending on the funnel stage in which they're used, which makes sense. But collectively, these are the technology pillars of the sales and marketing funnel without which the funnel has little chance to succeed or function reliably. Now, 3 here, big surprise, content is actually still king. The data proves it. Any B2B lead generation manager or specialist knows of content's importance to the process. Content fuels the lead generation engine, and like any high-performance engine, high-octane fuel is required. So the faster the engine needs to run, the more fuel it consumes. So with content, a component identified in this study as the most important enabling factor for each funnel stage, no savvy B2B marketer ever says, we've got too much content or our content is too good. A well-defined process supported by the right technology is critical to funnel success, but without enough high-quality content, the lead generation engine will stall. So this is still an incredibly important part of your funnel. And lastly, 4, people still matter. As critical as technology is to funnel success, it's not a fully automated process. There is a symbiotic relationship between people and technology in the funnel. So business development or inside sales reps play a key role in migrating leads to lower funnel sections, and of course, in closing sales. So set them up for success by defining lead types, qualification and migration criteria, and give them the content and tools they need to fully contribute to the funnel processes they enable. And that brings us to our sponsor here, Solution. If you're looking for help when it comes to implementing marketing automation and funnels and all the stuff that we were talking about in this presentation and the previous, and you're an association, you're looking for someone who understands your specific needs, HighRoad can help you out. They got a great team over there that will be able to help you implement the software and also help you with the strategy and best practices to get all of this working for your association. Okay, so that's now to our question and answer period. And I'd like to now open the floor to everyone. I'm going to put some information you want to for HighRoad and open the floor for you to answer some questions that you've been asking. Okay, so I'm just taking a look at the questions here. And I see a question that is about lead scoring. So they're asking here, how do I get started with lead scoring, and what kind of suggestions can you have for implementing a lead scoring plan? Okay, so I guess right off the bat, I'd say you need to set up a team. So you're going to need to understand people from both sales, your membership team, as well as your marketing team. And from your membership side, to ensure that the funnel works the way it should, you should really be working together. So they're going to know specifically what qualifies the right individuals depending on the type of funnel that you're creating. And so definitely speak with them, and that's where the whole thing starts, is in that team. And from there, you're going to identify some leads to select. You're going to try to find leads that will eventually become customers. Look at things from the past. Take a look at what was a good lead, examples that the membership team can use and say, oh, this was a really great lead, or this was not, and use those to figure out essentially how you should continue to move forward with setting up your score. The idea is you want to leverage everything your membership team is already doing and understanding, and that's what really takes that alignment between marketing and the membership team like we talked about in the presentation. And then you're going to be looking for specific elements you want to score. Maybe it's the size of revenue the customer might have, and these are the kind of things that you're going to use in your score to determine just exactly how big of an opportunity may be available. Okay, let me take a look here. Hopefully that answers your question on how to get started with it. Oh, I have another lead scoring question here. Okay, so this one's asking, what does it say here? This one's asking, in regards to lead scoring, about measurement of lead scoring. Okay, so they're asking about how do you measure or refine your lead scoring. So when it comes to the initial deployment and acceptance of your scoring system, that's really just the start of it. It's really important you regularly review this scoring process. The whole funnel, the whole purpose of the funnel is to put these leads through and have them scored so that they eventually go to membership and that they are properly taken care of in the correct priority. So this is an ongoing thing. Lead scoring is critical to it. And so to make sure it's operating correctly, you want to make sure that you look at a few things. Like you want to look at the scoring operation. You want to look for trends in the measures such as the number of leads scored, the number of leads sent to membership. and so on and so forth. You also want to look at the accuracy of the scores. The lead scores at the time of handoff should correlate closely with the initial sales acceptance and the final purchase behavior. So although the final purchase is what matters most, could be a renewal in this case, it's often easier to capture accurate information on the actual acceptance of sales. And there's productivity, and ensuring that you have higher productivity and looking at all of that. Those are other measures you want to look at, including, of course, your results. They were asking about refining lead scores. So to refine your lead scores, sometimes you might want to use negative points for disqualifying activities. So, for example, if there's something that someone does that you don't exactly, for example, let's say certain pages on your site or something, and it shows a behavior that if they're visiting these pages a lot, this isn't actually qualifying them as somebody who you would want to go forward with. Now, there's a lot of specific scenarios for that, so I'm not going to get into each of those examples, but the idea of having negative points for behavior as well as positive points that you're disqualifying them for as well. If there is, like, for example, a button that says call me or any sort of immediate type of thing on your website, give that a lot of high points. Send that immediately to membership. Make that a critical opportunity. That's another way you can revise your lead scoring. You can also score based on the account level. So depending on how your association runs, you can increase the scores. If multiple people from the same account are active at the same time, that might indicate high interest in the purchase, and you could go that direction. All right, let's see if we have any other questions here. All right. Okay, looks like we have here. Just scrolling down our list here. Okay, we have another question here. This one is about the kind of content to use in a funnel and what content is the best for each stage of the funnel and so on and so forth. Okay, well, that's a great question. This is the kind of thing that you're definitely going to have to test. It's going to be based off of your audience. It's going to be based off of the specific funnel that you're running. For example, if you're running a funnel where the top of the funnel is a landing page that's bringing people in for a white paper or something for your association, and this is someone that you've never dealt with before, it's a new member, then in this case, you're going to want to have, like we talked about along the buyer's journey, you're going to want to address each of those different stages. Now, we did have a basic version in this presentation where you move through, but ultimately the idea here is that you want each of those buying stages to be represented in the content. It's good to use a variety of content so that, let's say you send somebody a video. Videos do very well. You can track, depending on your marketing automation software, you can track how engaged the person was with the video if they replayed it, and so on and so forth. At the same time, if they don't engage with a piece of content, it's a fantastic opportunity to send them a different piece of content. Now, this is an interesting approach with funnels and marketing automation, which is where you dynamically nurture based off of whether or not someone is engaging or not engaging with content. So just because they didn't watch their video doesn't mean that that information that they would have normally received in that video isn't important. So this is an opportunity to share the same information in a different way, and you're not going to be worried about repeating yourself because you actually haven't repeated yourself to them yet. They never clicked on that link. There's no way for them to see the video without you knowing that they saw that video. So because they didn't see the video, perhaps it just was the wrong form of content for them, try something else, perhaps an image infographic or a blog post. The idea is that you want to engage on each stage of that individual's journey along the buyer's journey or the renewal journey, depending on the situation, and ultimately bring them through whatever content they're reacting to. Now, here's a great idea as well. You could be tagging them based on the content that they're more reactive to. So if they're reacting more to videos, then have it tagged for videos. And in the future, you could have your marketing automation set up so that in the funnel, when they're working through it, it serves them more video content before other forms, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of opportunity here to try different forms of content out based off of the engagement. But I would hesitate to say that one form of content is always more successful than another one. Although I will say that video is definitely a good one and gets pretty consistent results, and it's really great to track. So let me see if we have any more questions. on the list here. Okay, so question comes about the pillars, the technology pillars, and essentially what kind of how integrated do we need to be successful, essentially, is what the question is. So that's a great question. It can seem like a lot all at once. The good news is a lot of these pieces of technology, once you have marketing automation and an AMS/CRM system cooperating together, all these things are quite normally included inside of the software, and you don't need to really integrate them at a super high level when you start. So think really simple at the beginning, but try to dip your toes in as many of those main technology pillars as possible to ensure that you're not missing the overall opportunity. So you could, for example, do lead scoring, but very basic lead scoring, just something simple, like, for example, based off of their activity in the emails that you're sending them, or some, like we talked about, some higher trigger points, like if they go to a pricing page and a few other things, just to get the ball rolling and start to, see the benefit of the efficiencies that these automated procedures can actually give to your marketing and your membership team. Now, at the same time, you could also be looking at other aspects, like for marketing automation, you don't necessarily need to go all out to begin with. You could just start with an onboarding process with your existing clients and test it out that way. You could also use it instead of your standard newsletter send to everyone. You could send it all through marketing automation instead. And now normally newsletters are sent through a marketing automation style system, whether it's MailChimp or so on and so forth. But those are generally email providers that are focused on that. And so basically when you're using those email providers or those email systems, you don't necessarily get all the benefits that you would if you were using a full-on marketing automation system, but that's sometimes a good transition point for people. Okay, looks like I have another one here. How can I get my senior manager bought into using our marketing automation? How long does it take to implement and set up? Okay, so this is a bit of a follow-up to what we're just talking about. In terms of implementing and setting up, it really depends on how big the scope of what you're looking to do. Everyone wants it to be, everyone wants everything all at once, and that's just the way everything is in life. We all want to have all these features working for us immediately, but just like anything, just like any project, whether it be a gardening project or a DIY home project, things happen one step at a time. And the same thing goes for any sort of technology upgrade, or in this case, applying marketing automation and funnels and all of that. So it's important to think of it in terms of phases and have goals for each of those phases. So in terms of how long does it take to implement and set up, it may not actually take that long, but I'd recommend not necessarily taking everything on all at once. Perhaps start with a subset of your list. In this case, perhaps maybe work with some new people, perhaps all the new prospects that are coming in, send them through, because you don't necessarily want to test your marketing automation out on existing clients where you may make a mistake or something may go on that may cause an issue later on. So it's a good idea to kind of like have a subset of a list of a group and kind of just start working with that as you continue to establish it. And in that case, you can start more immediately and use it, let's say, for a white paper download, or let's say use it for some sort of onboarding process. But start with something small, and really, just like anything, you can look at any sort of piece of software, and it's got a million features, but you need to have a really specific goal on what you're trying to achieve here, or you're going to get lost in the ocean. So to start, pick a goal that would make everyone happy, and that is simple. Now, have those goals be in one after another, a line of phases that shows the growth of all the different areas that you're looking to achieve. And, so that's what I would say. In regards to getting sign-off from a senior manager into using marketing automation, I think ultimately for anyone to really be able to understand, you have to build the business case for them. And so at Demand Metric, we have a business case template that you could leverage. But ultimately, you want to build the business case by showing them specific scenarios where this will, bring specific results to your organization, your association. And you've got to basically make it as easy as you can. I know I've seen people in the past who created some more ingenious ways of doing this, where instead of going into a big presentation or something, they created a short little video that highlighted some examples, and it was something that they knew that their senior manager would have time to watch. They weren't really great at making videos, but they just used the screen sharing video like Camtasia or any of those tools and just spoke over a microphone, and they knew that that would be something the manager could fit in their time whenever they had time, and perhaps it's a PowerPoint or whatever else. But the idea is you've got to get the business case in front of your senior management and really build that case using examples, showing how you're going to mitigate risk, and what kind of benefits are available to them. The data is out there. Not only do we have it at Demand Metric in our reports, in our research, but just in general, there's a tremendous amount of data to support using marketing automation, on top of the fact that when you just explain it to them, that you're going to be able to make your sales team more efficient, your membership team, I mean, in the case of associations, more efficient, and your marketing team is going to be able to be more efficient too, because you get to leverage all this data. And otherwise, the data is all lost. And I think everyone can kind of get that. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. So here's another one. Members are telling us that they are getting bombarded by emails. How is marketing automation different from email marketing? Well, that is a great question. Now, a lot of marketing automation uses email. And I say a lot because, just in general, it's such an easy way to integrate with someone's contact information. Everybody uses email. But in regards to ensuring that they're not getting bombarded by it, it's different from email marketing in that marketing automation covers a wider spectrum. It's not just necessarily sending out emails. It could be social media. It could be, the marketing automation could, in essence, send a message to one of your membership teams to actually give them a call, or the marketing automation could send them direct mail. There's a lot of other ways that you can actually get marketing automation to work, including even robocalls. Now, I know robocalls can be controversial, but there are times when robocalls can be appropriate, or even text messaging can be appropriate. And if you have the permission from the individual that is on your list, there's no reason why you shouldn't use a wide amount of different avenues in being able to communicate with them besides just email marketing. But that being said, in the end, how you tag all of this is going to affect how much email is going to go through. When you use marketing automation, you can set it so that emails are really only sent to relevant people at the relevant time, and so that also will bring down the level of email. Okay, let's see. Okay, great. So I think that's all the questions. Thank you for everyone for attending, and thank you for HighRoad for sponsoring this webinar. Once again, if you are looking for information on being able to apply marketing automation, funnels, and all that good stuff in your association, I highly recommend that you contact the team at HighRoad Solution. And they have the resources, the best practices, and will be able to take you on a path towards not only implementing technology, they can help you in building the business case. They can help you with setting up this stuff in your business and help you get onto the right track depending on your needs. So I hope everyone has an awesome day. Thanks again for joining us, and I look forward to another presentation with all of you one day in the future. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.